Hey there, it's Brian. I'm back with another Saturday supplemental video review or follow-up. In this particular case, this time around, we're taking a look at the Ashton Benchmark. I don't know if you're going to be able to see that too well. Anyway, it's a new bundled cigar Ashton's putting out that's actually made by Don Pepin, and the interesting thing about it, it's cheap. It's a bundle, I believe, and it's got mixed filler in it. Anyway, and this cigar, I gotta say before I get too far along into this video, was provided to me by John, aka WingFan13, and he promised to send me one if I'd do a review of it. So I'm making good on that review. I've just got the one here, so I thought it would be a perfect thing to do for a Saturday. Just kind of relax, smoke one, and we'll see how it goes. Let's see here. Let me just go over the details of this thing. One thing that's interesting about it, you should be able to see that it's got a pigtail cap on it. The band, which you probably aren't going to be able to see too well, but you've probably seen pictures of the internet. It's a bunch of leaves that are hanging from a pole, basically. Being dried, essentially, is what that is. That's them being, in the barns, being dried and cured and fermented and all that neat stuff. This one is the Robusto. It's 5x50, though when I did my little measurement of the ring gauge, it looked more to me like a 48, but I won't hold that against it. That's, who knows how things are going to work out here. So, it may actually be better that it's a little on the skinny side. These go for, from what I could see online, I didn't really find a good MSRP on these, but these go for anywhere from about $2.60 to about $2.90, and I think this is probably closer to the $2.60 than the $2.90. So let me just read. I'm going to read really quick some information I got from the Ashton website on this. Let's see. The Benchmade is a new brand handcrafted in Nicaragua by Jose Pepin Garcia. These cigars feature gorgeous dark brown Nicaraguan wrappers, a pair of sturdy Nicaraguan binders, and delicious selection of high-grade Nicaraguan fillers. So it's a Nicaraguan Puro. Blah. Man, I smoked my head off last night, so my tongue feels like it was used as a punching bag. Each cigar is finished with a handsome pigtail cap. The flavors are medium to full body with a sweet, earthy richness and spicy complexity, which I will verify. That remains to be seen. Benchmade boasts a flavor and construction of super premium cigar, yet the attractive price of a value bundle. Available in 4 traditional sizes in elegant cedar boxes. Oh well, it's in boxes. Benchmade is the new benchmark for the value cigar. So sounds enticing. It really does. So that's part of the reason I was really interested in checking one of these out. And I also read on Cigar Cyclopedia that the wrapper is actually a Sumatra seed wrapper grown in Nicaragua, which is interesting. I guess that would. I'm thinking that might mean that this winds up being pretty smooth, but we'll see how that goes. Let's see here. I think that pretty much covers it. In terms of looking at the cigar, I noticed right off that it kind of has a twisted appearance that I see every now and then. I don't think that's going to be visible on the video, but it's got an interesting twisted appearance to the wrapper, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It just probably the firmness that they were using, the tension on the leaf while they were rolling it, I think causes that. I also noticed there is a small hole next to my finger. Yeah, I don't know if that's going to come through at all, but there is a little hole in the wrapper. Other than that, it's got some fairly fine veins, and it's a very smooth looking cigar. It's got the pigtail cap on it. So I guess I did note that it's kind of got a really rich, sweet compost scent to the wrapper. It's a little drier and more like hay, bales of hay or whatever at the foot. Looks like it's pretty nicely packed. So without blathering on and on about it too much longer, maybe I should just, go ahead and clip this thing and start smoking it. And I'll let you know what I think here in a second. Stay put. Alright, and we're back here. I just wanted to, I'm not quite through the first third, but I just wanted to get a picture of the ash before it drops off. It looks like the construction on this probably being mixed filler may not be quite as solid as a long filler cigar. I mean, you may be able to see it's kind of fraying a little bit there. Yeah. So it's likely to drop off at any moment, and most likely to drop off on my keyboard, which is generally how that works. But so far, I didn't because I clipped it off air. I didn't note that I found that the cold taste was an interesting savory pruny flavor, which was unusual. It's it was kind of a little bit of a saltiness to it, but not so much salty. Savory, I think is probably the best way to think of that. So it was kind of it was like an interesting, almost butter and prune flavor blended in the cold taste. So that was kind of interesting. While I've been smoking it so far, I've been noticing all kinds of interesting flavors and some complexity to it. I've been noticing I've been getting actually some buttery wood flavors, which is interesting. Actually pretty tasty. I've gotten some kind of more sweeter wood flavor, a little bit of earth. I am getting a little bit of caramel in there, but it's not as much as I've read some people have gotten, some other people who have smoked it. A lot of creaminess, sometimes some butteriness, some sweetness in there, but not all the time. Just occasional pockets of it. It really seems like it changes almost every time you puff off it. Now, I don't know exactly what the cigar is constructed out of. I've read so many different rumors. They think some people claim it's scraps of San Cristobal's. I've seen others that claim it's scraps of the Blue Label or the JJ. I'm not really sure. It doesn't really say officially on any website, but that's the rumor. It's funny. I'm smoking this. It's a Don Pepin, a new Don Pepin smoke. I was just at a Don Pepin rolling event last night, so I smoked the hell out of. I smoked a couple of actually the JJ and the JJ Maduro. I don't know. I think there's a little bit of similarity between this and the JJ, but I'm not tasting I don't think I'm tasting the San Cristobal in it, but I'm not sure. It's one of those things. I think I'd need to smoke all three of them together and see what was happening. But that rolling event, that was crazy. I think I racked up about 7 cigars yesterday. Throughout the entire day, and probably about 4. I'd say probably at least 4 of them were at the event. So oh man, my tongue. But so far this has been good though. I mean, it's been predominantly creamy, a little bit on the savory side. So I'm enjoying this. My palate isn't scarred beyond recognition. This is the first cigar I'm smoking today. At this point it's just before 1. So I kind of tried to repair myself in order to give this a fairly decent review. So we'll go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and smoke a little ways into it, and maybe jump in somewhere in the second, third, and see. We'll see how it's going. So stick around. We will continue in a few seconds. Alrighty. Well, I wanted to get back to you before I started burning through the band itself. Right at this point right now, the last couple of puffs, I'm still, I'm still a little ways into the second third. I've got just a little bit more to burn before I'm in the final third of this thing. As you can see, the ash is still nice and white. The burn line has been, for the most part, respectably straight. The draw has been great so far. I mean, it's hard to. I haven't had any complaints at all, really. I've noticed the ash seems to drop off a little earlier on than some of the other all long filler Pepin cigars, but can you really complain about it? I mean, it's under $3 for a smoke. The flavor in the second third has actually been more complex to my palate, though. My palate's, I gotta say, is needs a splint right now because of all the smoking yesterday. But I've been getting a lot of complex earth and wood. It's been creamy, but the creaminess has kind of gone away. So I've been getting some. It's been, it's still been fairly smooth. It's been a little more earthy. Some sweetness in there. A lot of woodiness, like I'm saying. It's been really, really noticeably cedary for the last couple of puffs on this thing. 360. You can see it from every angle. Wow, it's almost like smoking. That's my hand. Nice and fat. All right. I was looking at this. I didn't read it anywhere, but it's like, I assumed it was made, handmade, but I actually looked at I had to double check the band. You're probably not going to be able to read that, but it does say Hecho a Mano. So in spite of being mixed, it is in fact handmade. So I think probably everybody expects that. It's coming from Don Pepin. I thought about, what I said earlier about not tasting the San Cristobal, and I was thinking, well, no, in fact, I think maybe I am. It's just, I'm thinking maybe the first third is more JJ scraps, and then, as you're moving into it, I think maybe they're pulling some San Cristobal stuff into that, or maybe some black label. I'm not really sure. But so far, it's been a great smoke. I mean, wow. I can't help but think that, I'm not going to pass judgment on it just yet, but if this turns out to be a good cigar, I have to wonder if, Ashton or Pepin is kind of shooting themselves in the foot by coming out with a really great smoke that's so cheap, so, maybe it'll be limited so they don't lose all of their sales to an expensive smoke. I just wanted to, just for fun, tease. I was going to do a little cigar porn, but I thought all I would do is tease what I'm going to be reviewing on Wednesday. So here's your tease. That's it. That's all you get. I got my hands on something interesting pretty early on. I'm not, by any stretch of the imagination, probably the first person to get their hands on and smoke it, and I think there's a review out for it already, but keep an eye out on Wednesday for something really new and kind of hard to come by. So at least that's my understanding, that they're hard to come by. So we'll see how that goes. But that's the cigar porn segment. I'm just looking around to see if there's anything else interesting for me to show just for fun. Got some these tubes laying around here. Smoked one of these guys too recently. That was, that's right side up. Does that fit on my head? Nah, it's too dry. My head's not oily enough yet. It's a great headband size of cigar band, but I guess that's not going to work. All right, I'm wasting a lot of time, and everybody's starting to go to sleep. So I will come back, and the next time you see this guy, unless something, the world explodes, the next time you see this, the band's going to be off, and we'll be probably getting close to finishing up, if not finishing it up. So, stay put. I'll be back in just a second for you. Well, I'm in the final third of it. It's starting to get a little on the warm side. It's not too far from when I'd probably stop smoking. It's still been really good. It was creamy. It's still a very complex flavor. Some sweetness in there, some wood, some more leather now. It's starting to get a little fuller. I would say this cigar though hasn't been much more than about a medium. The entire way through until the end, and it picks up a little bit of fullness right at the end. But Yeah, I think this is a great cigar. In terms of my verdict on it, I would say, yeah, I enjoyed this. I would definitely recommend this, and I'll probably be buying some. I think it's great. I'm really glad to see another really inexpensive cigar out in the market. That good quality, inexpensive cigar. And I'm thinking that had I not known what this was, had I not done any research on what it was, I think I would have been able to tell that it's a Don Pepin creation. It just, it has that profile. Yeah. So it's been a great cigar. I was just playing around with the cellophane. I do that, fold it all up and stuff like that while I'm smoking. And I noticed that it kind of comically, I was thinking, well, I see how they're saving some money on the cigars. If you look at the edge of that, it looks like they took a much larger bit of cellophane and they rather roughly chopped chopped the end of it. So it looks like they're really saving pennies here and there. But yeah, this has been a great smoke. I really recommend it. I think it's probably going to be. I'm thinking this may be my new value of smoke recommendation if anybody asks. And I'll probably forget the next time it comes up and your questions, my answers. But yeah, I think that you can't go wrong with one of these little guys. And of course, as I sort of promised, maybe not promised, but predicted, it holds onto its ash not quite as long as some other long filler smokes, but and it did land in my lap, so I may have to go see the doctor to get some stuff fixed. But I mean, aside from it biting me like that, I'm thinking this is good, and I'd recommend it. I think that if you have the opportunity, especially if you find some in your local shop, pick a few up. They're really inexpensive, and they're really good. So that pretty much covers it. I can't think of anything else that needs to be in here. I'm debating on whether or not I should give McLovin another face to put in his video reviews. If you checked out his latest, I'm now his. My face is now the final verdict on a cigar. So maybe I should give him a bit of a puzzled look, like. Yeah, so we'll see if that shows up in a further review. I need to get more creative with my backgrounds and add something. I'm debating on whether or not I should add a McLovin smear in the background just like he did to me. But I think I'll be the better man and not do that. But all right, I think that covers it. I think I'm pretty much done. It's at that point. I'll puff on a little bit longer, but I'm done. So. Thumbs up. I think it's good. I think people should smoke it and try it out and go buy some. And hopefully this is something that stays popular and it's widely available for everybody. It's a great way to save some money and still get a good smoke. I just hope their sales of their other cigars don't suffer because you've got this great smoke that's just cheap. So cheap. Alrighty. Well, until next time, long ashes.
Walking down the road with a pistol in your waist, Johnny had to